Well, I'll tell you what, even though it's February, it's still technically until the middle of next month, it's still winter. Do you know that? We think of December and January as winter, but February is still too. And sadly, a lot of places, sadly or not, depending on if you like snow, but a lot of places around the world, maybe in your area where you're watching, it's still very, very cold, lots of snow, and just stay warm is all I can tell you. I thought I'd just pop on real quick and show you a few highlights of this painting. I had so much fun painting it, and I'm actually going to do an interactive, easier for me, interactive tutorial tomorrow. That is Sunday. So if you're around and you want to jump in, the cost for my 2.5 hour classes that are live and interactive on Zoom are $14. And that includes access to the tape afterwards. I usually post them in a private group, the replay tape. I usually post it on Facebook, but if you're not on Facebook and I can invite you to that private group, we'll figure it out together. So I'm just going to give you a couple quick highlights of this. By the way, if you're in my Patreon in the $15 level, that includes a $14 masterclass, which this is once a month, and it also includes an $11 90-minute interactive Zoom class. So just for those two things alone, I feel like it's a really, really good value. But also, I have probably 4 or 5 right now tutorials in the $15, and then you get access to the beginners and the blossoming. $15 is considered the adventures in painting. And one thing with me is I share everything. If there is a trick I did with this, I don't keep it to myself. So there you go. So I just wanted to say to you, I used as a reference photo this beautiful photo, and it's actually during Christmas time. It's not overtly Christmas, but he does have a green package and then kind of the reddish little scarf around him. And it just kind of, red is fine during the winter, but this kind of pushes it into Christmas time, that he's trudging through the snow with his little sled to bring a Christmas present, which is so cute. So what I decided to do to make it wintry but not holiday-ish, I decided instead, when I traced it, and I have the reference photo available also for the class. How do you find me? I'm Cindra, Cindra, as in Lee, M as in man, at AOL.com. Yes, I'm that old. I use AOL. So that's how you can reach out to me. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. So that is the way to reach out. And I will hook you up and we will have ourselves a good old time. I have a wide variety of classes every month. Anyway, when I sketched this, I decided to lightly sketch the present. But then as I was looking at it, I decided, why don't I go ahead and put a little puppy that he's holding. So here, this is actually, I took a little photo of it with my cell phone and I printed it out large at the stage, at the ugly stage, or the halfway in between watercolor stage. And I decided to put a little puppy in there. And as I was putting that dog in there, it changes the whole feeling of the painting. It's a sweet little boy who is keeping his little puppy warm. And then I thought afterwards, that could be a stuffed animal. You could make any animal you want for that, because at that age, they're all pretend anyway, right? But I had him have this cute little puppy dog that's inside, zippered into his jacket. And then I thought that would change the personality of it. And I wanted to share that with you. The class tomorrow, that Sunday, is on, and what date is that, you ask? I don't have, please hold. Today is the 25th, right? So this would be the 26th at 2 p.m. until 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time of the US. Okay. Hope you can make it live or with the tape. It's just $14. But this sketch, which you want to do prior to class, is the basics. And then what I ended up doing for the one that I completed is I had a wonderful time creating this little boy. I used, for those of you that are familiar with it, I used Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof for the tiny little, with a small little chew that has a great tip. I used that for the jeans. I used Prussian blue, but you could use ultramarine with just a little touch of Payne's gray. And I just continued on. I also used gouache, and I figured I'd show you a few of the things I used. Whether or not you take the class, maybe that will help you sort it out. Let me get a little light on it. Here is the scene from a little bit far away. Whenever you paint with gouache, white gouache, which is a form of watercolor that's kind of a cross between acrylic and watercolor. Whenever you use that, I suggest that you keep the gouache separately as you rinse and as you paint than your regular watercolor. So this one, if you can see, I used for a lot of the red, and that includes some of the sled that he's pulling and some of his scarf and his hat and jacket. And I continue to use this probably for the jeans, although I may have switched because it was before I got into gouache. The gouache I didn't do until the painting of the little boy was complete and his sled was complete. So there's my kind of blurry, snowy background with the snow falling down. I thought it was a very sweet, sentimental look. If you wanted to keep it holiday-ish and start early on maybe some cards for next year, you certainly could do that by adding just a few things. You could even put a few little items on here for decorations or presents stacked up or strapped down. There's so many things you could do with this painting, but I just thought I'd share it with you and also invite you to tomorrow's, that's Sunday, the 26th, 2 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. What else can you do that's this fun on a Sunday afternoon? Or check out my Patreon site. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed taking a look at this and getting some ideas on how to create it. And take care. God bless.